are day 3 in the Lenten season, and we turn the page over to a whole new chapter in John chapter 2. And we find a wedding miracle. Jesus turns water into wine. Jesus kind of keeps the party going. It's kind of a wild story. Hopefully you've read it. I want to give you that reminder. Make sure you read it before you watch these videos. Just let God speak. It's good to even pray before you read and just say, Lord, would you speak? Would you show me something fresh here? This is just 12 verses that we're reading today. And after just reading through it, the one phrase that stuck out to me more than anything else, first of all, I think it's funny, Jesus' interaction with his mom, Mary, right? I mean, Mary says, hey, they've run out of wine. And Jesus says, what's that got to do with me? It's not my time yet. And John doesn't write any more interaction. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. But the way in which the story is told, the very next thing that John writes is that Mary turned to the servants and said, do whatever he tells you. Do whatever he tells you. And that phrase just stuck out to me. And it was just a personal question. Day to day, am I doing what Jesus tells me to do in his word? Am I obeying him? Am I following him? It's interesting, John, later in the New Testament, we'll have 3 specific letters John writes. And in 1 John, there's a place where he says, if we say we're following Jesus and we're not obeying him, then we're a liar. And it's not because our salvation is gained through obedience. It's our obedience to Jesus is the proclamation. It's the fruit on the tree that we can see that says he's a follower of Jesus. It's kind of like you could tell a tree with oranges that it's an orange tree. You can tell an apple tree by an apple tree. You can even tell what kind of an apple tree it is by the kind of apple you find on the branches. And the same is true for us as followers of Jesus. Are we doing what he tells us to do? And here's kind of the push. If we don't know what Jesus is saying in his word, if we're not reading it, if we're not engaging with it, and that can happen so many ways now, not only in just reading scripture, but so many additional books, a library that you could have, and podcasts that are available, and tools like YouTube. I mean, there's so much content, really an overabundance of content, that you have to be careful what you have a diet on to make sure that it's accurate. You can't just because somebody says they're a Christian or a pastor, believe what it is that they're saying is the truth. It has to be vetted properly. But that was the challenge that I took away from it. If I was there and Mary says, do whatever Jesus tells you, and I was sitting in that seat, is that indicative of my life right now? Am I growing in obedience? Because that's really what it means to be a disciple. If I'm following with Jesus, I'm going to change. He's going to change me. I can't be close to Jesus and stay the same, because he's calling me to surrender more and more. So I challenge you, and as you close out your time, to just to pray and to ask Lord to help you have that kind of heart to do whatever Jesus calls you to do. And that's going to be really hard a lot of the time, to be obedient. But we do it in faith that the life Jesus is calling us to live is more peaceful, it's more joyful, it's more rewarding, it's more satisfying, it's more impactful, and it's more beautiful than any other way we could live ourselves. So hope you enjoy this Friday, and I'll see you tomorrow.